Well, it's about damn time I got this video out. Grossi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to another episode of Podcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. Apologies for the tardiness. The beginning of the week is quite crazy, and with 3 streams and 3 videos on Sunday, I didn't have any time to get this out, so sorry. Grossi, and today, 3 days later, we are going to be breaking down the Green Bay Packers victory over the Indianapolis Colts of 16-10. And heading into this game, there was a lot of trepidation, a lot of fear, because of course, Friday, Jordan Love going down the first game in which you have lots of panic. Thankfully, it's only a sprained MCL. Right now, he is day-to-day. We're going to get an injury update today when this video comes out on Wednesday. So that is all good news. However, still a lot of fear because Malik Willis, who at that point had not thrown a single passing touchdown, just traded for him a month ago, was going to be thrust into the spotlight and trying to keep things okay while Jordan Love was out. And while Malik Willis did everything that we could possibly have asked him to, which we'll talk about momentarily, the idea was that we were going to need a strong running performance and a good defense. This was going to be the time for Jeff Hafley to step things up after he did pretty well against the Eagles, but at the end, it fell apart. And boy, oh boy, did we get both of those things. Starting off with the rushing attack. How good was the Packers' first half? 237 rushing yards for the Packers. On top of that, they finished with 261 rushing yards on the day. Really kind of stopped being effective in that second half, and the defense for the Colts did wind up playing better. But again, we'll talk about that. And this ground game was led by Josh Jacobs, who had 32 carries for 151 yards. His only mistake on the day was that he did fumble in the end zone, which cost them a touchdown. It would have been his first touchdown as a Green Bay Packer, and we're just going to have to wait a little bit longer for that. Between all the running backs and Malik Willis, you had 53 total carries, and there was an obvious emphasis on the run. And talking about Aaron Jones, who's playing well with the Minnesota Vikings, and yes, that is still very gross to say, this is one of the reasons why we got Josh Jacobs, because he can pound the rock over 30 times. With Aaron Jones, the results may vary because he's not really more of a bruising running back. He's more of a finesse guy, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when they needed to really rely on the run, they were counting on Josh Jacobs today, and he did pretty well. Unfortunately, Marshawn Lloyd, the rookie, while he did have 6 carries for 15 yards, he just got put on IR on Tuesday when this video is being recorded with an ankle injury. He is eligible to return this season, so hopefully he can rest up and be well soon. But the Packers' rushing attack was kind of weird to watch because usually this happens to us. And while Jonathan Taylor did have himself a very good day on the ground, it was great because the Packers were able to control the clock and really just control the momentum of this game. There were never really times except for the very end where there was any panic of, hey, maybe the Packers are letting this get away from them. And that provided a ton of comfort. But looking at the other side of the ball on the defense, oh boy, Jeff Hafley, they came to play. 3 interceptions for the defense on Sunday. Another one by Xavier McKinney. Of course, we signed him this past free agency. He has 2 interceptions already, and this makes a total of 5 interceptions in just 2 games. And just to kind of compare that to last season, the Packers, who were awful at taking the ball away last year, they only had 7 interceptions the entire season, and we already have 5 after 2 weeks. Jeff Hafley mentioned that he was emphasizing turnovers, and in the past 2 games, you have seen it. And so I was very happy to see the way that panned out. And while the defense definitely wasn't perfect, it was a bit of a tough game for Quay Walker. I'm hoping that things can get better for him. Eric Wilson, who's been playing well, he had an interception, and it was just really nice to see this defense be so aggressive, and it kind of reminded me a little bit of that Super Bowl defense in which they were just ball hawks. And Xavier McKinney gave a little bit of a conference at his locker and saying that he always wants to be near the ball. He always wants to get his hands on the ball. And yeah, so far, that investment has paid off very well. I also have to shout out Matt LaFleur for calling an excellent game plan in which the way that he utilized Malik Willis, he didn't ask him to do too much. And on top of that, just the schemes, the disguises, the trick plays, it was a very good day for Matt LaFleur, and he deserves a ton of credit for this win. But I do want to talk about Malik Willis, because what a fantastic story for Malik. Just got here less than a month ago. Willis, 12 for 14, 122 yards, 1 touchdown, was not sacked a single time, and had 0 turnovers. Also got the game ball. This one did not have puke on it from Josh Myers. Of course, a great story coming out after this game in which it was supposed to be a passing play. However, Josh Myers threw up on the ball, and Malik was like, ew, and just had to run with it instead. And hey, it turned into at least a little bit of a positive play. But Malik Willis didn't amaze anybody, but he was efficient and did exactly what Matt LaFleur asked him to do. He also scored his first passing touchdown, which is really incredible, and it was his first game throwing for over 100 yards. And it's honestly just a really feel-good story for Malik Willis, who might have his revenge game next week against the Tennessee Titans, but again, we're waiting to see what's going on with Jordan Love. And right now, for the Packers, I think that there is a lot of confidence with this team. Besides Romeo Doubs, who had 3 catches for 62 yards, there really wasn't a ton of explosiveness in the passing game. But again, they didn't have to because running the ball was really effective for them. And switching back over to the defense, the concern was going to be containing Anthony Richardson and Jonathan Taylor. And Anthony Richardson did not have a great day. 17 for 34, 204 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, was sacked once. And Richardson looked like a young QB out there. Some of this stuff, including the score, came in garbage time. That last interception also was just him heaving it up there. But the Packers put a decent amount of pressure on Anthony Richardson and forced him to make mistakes, and our secondary played pretty damn well today. Where they didn't play the best was against Jonathan Taylor, who for some reason only carried the ball 12 times but had 103 yards. They really got away from using Taylor near the tail end of that game, which I don't understand, but I'm very thankful for. Unfortunately, Saquon Barkley did the same exact thing against the Packers week 1, and so that is a little bit of a common theme that needs to be rectified, but the most important thing is the Packers got to win. And taking a look at the NFC North right now, they're sitting at 1-1 with the Lions and with the Bears. The Vikings are sitting atop the division at 2-0. Sorry, just felt sick for a minute. And the Packers, they are doing what they need to do until Jordan Love returns. It is possible that he returns for this Titans game, or he could come back for the Vikings or the Rams game. The point is, I think this team shows that they could hold their own while Jordan Love is away. The one concern I would have is that the Colts defense is not good. Their run defense was abysmal, and they're going to be playing the Titans next week, who have a much better defense. You saw the Jets struggle with them this past Sunday, and the Bears struggled with them week 1, though that offense is just struggling anyway. And so I'm curious to see what kind of game plan Matt LaFleur is going to roll out, but after calling an excellent game on Sunday, if Malik Willis is the guy under center for this upcoming Sunday, I have a lot of confidence in this team because their defense came to play. I think they'll be able to give Will Levis plenty of problems. It's just going to be a matter of how can this offense function when Malik Willis is going to be forced to throw the football. He didn't have to throw the football much. He only did it 14 times on Sunday, but it was enough to get the win. He was efficient. And yeah, just a feel-good story for Malik Willis as they get their 800th win in franchise history. They are the first NFL franchise to do that in history. And so, yeah, a great day for the Green Bay Packers being able to get the win. And now we turn to the Titans. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. You know, I saw me at TomGrossiComedy.com or at TomGrossiComedy, all social media see down below. A big shout and thank you to all the patrons and YouTube members for supporting this channel. And thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack, go.